The topic I plan on discussing now is millennials and Gen Z. Starting off with millennials first. What is one word that describes millennials?
I hear crazy. Crazy for some reason.
Crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. You think your brother's crazy?
No, but I think I think like how some people describe them as a generation. I think we was young and wild and free. So I'm like crazy.
Compare millennials to the generation after them.
Oh, so funny. My bosses are millennials. From my okay, so when I was talking to a millennial, she was telling me how we are definitely very different, but I would describe different like how they want to like climb the corporate ladder. Yeah, this was like they want to know like how to climb the corporate ladder, how to get better, how to do better, how to get to like that CEO position or their dream job, and we are kind of more like. And then we're kind of more like free spirited, but I think we also it's kind of like we don't really want to have to climb the ladder if we don't want to. It's kind of like if we have a degree, we feel like we should be placed at that level because like we learned it, we studied it, we should be there. But honestly, at the same time, we don't want to live to work. I think that's the difference. Like they don't mind working to live. We don't want to live to work. Like we kind of just want like we understand we have to work to get money to survive and to do all this basic stuff, right? But like I don't want my whole life just me to be working. No, I just want to work. I want to work to do what I love to do, not work to what I have to do. And I feel like with millennials, they're like, oh, work is just a way of life. You know, you just work until you die. And it's like, no, you can definitely love your life, experience your life.
I feel like depends on the millennial because me being a millennial, I feel like I always wanted to make my money on a entrepreneurship type of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I never actually wanted to work the corporate ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I actually wanted to make money on my own. And then, because I'm into different things, podcasting. I'm big on sport. I'm trying to even get into the cinematic side of things. I think I remember even asking you, we did a podcast topic on modeling because
Mm-hmm.
that's something I'm even trying to get into.
Mm-hmm.
So you're trying to work up the corporate ladder, gonna satisfy my needs into these
Mm-hmm.
different passions I have. I agree to you to a certain extent, but not all millennials are trying to climb up the corporate
That
ladder.
makes sense.
Millennials, we were outside, we were active before the technological boom. What are some factors that made millennials special?
That's an interesting question. What made my brother? Now I gotta think about my brother. What made him special? I guess y'all, you're not afraid of hard work, but I'm not. But I don't want to insinuate that we are afraid of hard work. I just feel like y'all hard work. I think y'all not afraid to do like more manual stuff, more like to get down and dirty. I guess that's the thing. But I feel like with us, I feel like we don't mind to do. Oh, I got it. Y'all don't mind working hard. Yeah, y'all don't mind like hard work, but I think that for us, we're gonna do it like the smarter way, the faster way. So it's kind of like I feel like if millennials build a house and a Gen Z build a house, there's gonna be two different completely houses. Like how y'all build it, y'all may use like brick, right? We may use like plaster or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how to build a house, but I feel like it's like how we get to the end goal is very different. So I feel like I guess what makes y'all special is y'all don't mind doing it the hard way when it needs to be done. Us, we're gonna be like we're gonna find like the smarter way to do it or the quicker way to do it. Kind of depends on what we're doing.
Millennials are the most educated yet the least financially stable and worst paid generation in history. What factors would you say has led to this?
Ooh, I mean, some people say Ronald Reagan. I don't know much about the administration, but I believe Ronald Reagan. What has led to this? I mean, America. Come on now, like that's the thing. Y'all always say the next generation is gonna save us. Why can't the old generation just do your job? Like, come on now. I'm not blaming millennials, but like
But why
the
this generation specifically? Like, why are we
yeah.
the most educated, but just
Oh, because I feel like y'all kind of been sold the same dream we had. Like, oh, if you just work hard and it's like, if you just go to school, and you just work hard, and you just, do everything right, then everything's going to come to you. When that's not really the case. It's kind of just like, yeah, it's kind of like y'all was encouraged to get college degrees because college degrees leads to better money. But the thing is, some people don't want to pay you what you're worth. And then two, like, some people just don't want to hire people. I don't know, it's like some companies don't want to hire people, which is such a weird concept, but it is. And then it's also I don't know, and then it's kind of also like I'm trying to think. I don't know. I just feel like I just been You have been sold the same dream we have, and there's nothing to show for it. And there's many really different things why to show for it. It's kind of like how the pay never increased. I guess like the corporate America pay hasn't really increased. So it's kind of like you're stuck in this pay back in the 90s when you should be in a 2000 in the 2020s, you know. So I think it's kind of like I feel like it's corporations in the American dream that y'all was sold.
There are many ways to be successful, but why were millennials more than any other groups forced by the previous generations to believe that we needed to be college educated to be successful and have a better future? Why was college shoved down the throats of millennials as the only way for us to be successful?
Hmm. I think it's because college you get to learn a lot of I feel like in college not only do you learn a whole bunch of different stuff, but you do meet people that maybe can put you in better places. But I feel like it just yeah, I think it's both. I think it's like meeting people that put you in higher places and to learn about it. Like it's kinda like if you want to be a lawyer, you're gonna have to learn how to be a lawyer, right? You have to learn that. But at the same time, I know a lot of millennials, they have studied for like engineering jobs, but for some reason can't get it engineering jobs. But that's because a lot of companies don't want to pay y'all what y'all worth, which is crazy. But like, I think that's the crazy part. Like, I think it's kind of like they want y'all to learn the skills, but they don't want to pay you for the skills that you learn. I think that's such a weird concept. So yeah, I think that's why it's kind of like they want you like they'd be like, "Hey, engineers make money. Learn to be an engineer." But like now, no one wants to hire you. So I just think they just assumed college was the best path for you. I think yeah, they just assumed college was the best path for you when there are some cases where it's not.
Me, I feel like what it is we're told by our parents and even those similar to our parents, those that acted as parent figures, to go to school. We go to school, we end up realizing that, dang, we're getting degrees that we're not feeling, but we just got to continue somehow because we're so deep in. Then you graduate, you at least try to put the degree to you. You try, you make the attempt, but then you realize that the company wants you to have work experience. So you're telling me I just graduated, I'm trying to put the degree to use. So how am I supposed to find work experience? So through the tug of war process, you realize that you just got played. That's why millennials are just waking up and realizing that we're very educated, but as far as us getting paid, these companies are not going to pay us, especially in this AI digital age that we live in now. Me personally, I feel like millennials were guided wrong. They told us about, education our whole lives, but they never told us, okay, if you master this skill, there's also a route to making great income.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I feel like I definitely agree with that. I feel like I definitely agree with that statement. I feel like y'all was very taught to do something practical. I think y'all was definitely like the practical generation. Oh, no, be a lawyer, that's practical. Be a doctor, that's practical. Do business, that's practical. Do accounting, that's practical. So I feel like a lot of it's been shoved down your throats to be practical instead of doing what you want to do. Because what if y'all did do what y'all want to do? I mean, some of y'all are right now. So love y'all. Congratulations for y'all. Love that for y'all. But like, I just know it's kind of like maybe like in the beginning stages of your life, you couldn't do what you wanted to do because you've been shoved down your throat to be practical. And there's also okay.
Even though you're speaking this from a millennial's point of view, because you're a Gen Z, right? Have you ever met someone that was a millennial but doesn't have a personality outside of the school?
School or work? Oh, I think she has a personality.
Because we were the generation.
Well, I think I would say my bosses a little bit. Like one boss, she definitely does have a personality. But like if you ask people to describe her, they're like, oh my gosh, she's such a hard worker. She's hustling. She's always out here grinding. But like what's her favorite color? No, that's not who she is as a person. And then my other boss, she's the coach, she's another co-founder. How people would describe her is like, oh my gosh, she used to work here. She's so dope. She's so educated. Yeah, but what's her favorite food? So yeah, I would like to say I think so. Or at least I believe so.
Can you have a degree and still not be educated?
That's the great debate, isn't it? Well, actually, yes. People cheat to get degrees all the time. So yeah, especially now with ChatGPT. So yeah.
What defines if someone is educated or not if degrees and certifications didn't exist? Like, what would be the criteria then?
I feel like maybe mindset. I feel like maybe mindset or how people like. I feel like maybe mindset and how people. I don't want to say react to things. I don't want to say react to things, but I say mindset and how people respond to things. Thank you. How people respond to things. It's kind of like how like if you tell somebody, it's kind of like if you. It's kind of like if so. It's kind of like if you talk about somebody about the government, right? You have some people that think the government is just this whole conspiracy theory and it's already planned out. And then you have this other group of people that actually know how the government works. And I feel like the conspiracy theories. I don't want to say they're not. I guess the conspiracy theories, they're not educated because if you really understood how the government works and how it's been playing it and how it actually affected your life, yeah, you would be educated because you understand that system. You understand there's three branches of government. Ideally, they're supposed to keep each other in check, right? The checks and balance systems and how a lot of the laws that affect you, yes, they pass on like a USA level, but like it's really the laws of your local government that affects you and who's in office there that affects you. But like a lot of them, they don't understand that because they weren't. I don't say they weren't educated, but they didn't pay attention in basic school. Like in high school, you learn how those things affect you in your life. So like if you didn't pay attention, I guess you could say you wasn't educated. So now you're living with this false idea that you got from YouTube about how the world and the government works.
Nicely said. Did millennials run so that Gen Z could walk?
In some cases, but I think in some cases, but not a lot of cases. Because I feel like for us, we're like you may could say we're like the beginning of the technology.
Actually, if you're gonna discuss about Gen Z, can you wait on it until we get onto the Gen Z topic? Okay. Because I want it to be strictly on like millennials.
No, you're good. I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna say no to be honest, because I feel like in some cases, we were definitely. I feel like we definitely. I'm gonna say no, because if I'm thinking from a millennial point of view, I feel like we kind of grew up not two different ways, but there's just some things where I'm just be like, no.
Because, like, for example, I'm 1995. I have twin siblings that are 2000. So they're like on the border between being millennials and Gen Z. But since they're at the border, it's it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I think because I'm 2000, so I think it's definitely like I feel like no. I feel like no because of how people describe our generation. Because I feel like with us, it's kind of just like we're gonna hold you accountable on some stupid stuff. And I'm not saying like y'all didn't do that, but it's kind of just like I feel like the things that happen. I feel like the things that happen today. I feel like Gen Z started it or we kind of pathwayed it. I think millennials. I was like, yeah, a lot of stuff has been messed up. Yeah, I do have a point, but it just all depends on how you look at it. But I'm gonna say no in a general sense.
What are some pros of being a millennial? Let's say you were a millennial. You were born in the 1990s. What would be some pros?
You played outside. You got some scars. You got to live life before technology for sure.
Actually, I apologize. Can I rephrase that? My tone was kind of off. If you were born in the 1990s, what would be some pros of being a millennial?
You got to play outside. You got to really enjoy time with your friends. You had the phones that it's kind of like if you really want to make time for somebody or if you really want to meet with somebody, you make sure you had a time, a place, and a date. Y'all weren't late because, of course, you had to figure out where you were, had to be there. I think I just got to enjoy a lot more life and people in the real space. Yeah, probably not as awkward as we are. Y'all not as awkward. You have some level of self confidence, I would like to say.
Okay. Am I awkward since I'm a millennial?
No, I think we're awkward. Gen Z are awkward. I think y'all are awkward because y'all have more people skills. Y'all more like, let's say hi and all that good stuff and do small talk and all that good stuff.
What are some cons about being a millennial if you were born in the 1990s?
Yeah. Well, y'all can learn technology, but there's some faces of technology you still have to understand. So that's more funny than a con. You know what? Some of y'all views are interesting because I think some views are interesting because I think y'all it's just like I think y'all like to call Gen Zers kind of like sensitive when we're not sensitive. We're just calling out stupid stuff, right? So I think y'all let a lot of stuff slide, which is sometimes just not okay. Like it's kind of like if someone's openly being racist to you, it's kind of y'all deal with it differently than how we would deal with it.
How would you guys deal with it?
I think well, we will record them, put them on the page, and be like, hey, don't mess with this racist person. I think we're more like exposing people for who they are. Like, oh, like you're not gonna hide behind this sheet, this curtain. Like, no, if you're racist, we're gonna let everybody know that you're racist.
And
And
how do
if
we deal with it?
I think sometimes y'all push it aside, or sometimes y'all be like, oh, I'm gonna be out of here, or I don't talk to this person. But I feel like if I don't know, I feel like y'all, I don't want to say y'all keep it a secret, but it's kind of like it's let's say if your boss was racist to you, I don't think y'all would tell everybody in the whole world that they were. And like, and I get it, on some cases, you don't have to tell everybody in the world, but like I think y'all need to show people who they really are, or tell people, nah, this person is not a good person. And like, if you want to deal with that, cool. But like you should know, like this person, watch your back type of thing.
And are you saying it's based on what you're seeing multiple millennials do?
I think it's just how y'all respond to some things. Like it's kind of like how I don't know. It's kind of like how a lot of y'all. I know not a lot of y'all, but it's kind of like how like when you watch a lot of stuff back from the '90s, and I guess like what they said and how they treated women, and how like these jokes are kind of like offensive to some people, but because they were funny, I didn't mind it. I think that's the thing. I feel like I feel like with some millennials, as long as you're having fun and having a good time, it's not a problem, right? When it can be a problem, even though it's funny, it's the underlying problem in that thing.
Are millennials becoming misunderstood and misinterpreted in this fast paced technological world that's slowly forgetting about us?
Maybe I think so.
How so?
I feel like, well, I think it all depends on like some millennials, but I think some of y'all are being forget about, or at least some of y'all being replaced. I think replace is a better word, because I think like especially with technology fields, you got AI now. So I feel like y'all getting replaced in that department. Social media marketing is a thing, so either you gotta learn how to do social media, or a Gen Z are gonna come and take your job. How else y'all being forgot? I don't think y'all really being targeted as much for like I don't think you're being targeted as much, like for like campaigning, right? So when you talk about clothes, well, it all depends on the clothing brands. Clothing brands are different. So I feel like I feel like it's kind of like if a brand or a company wants to make money, they're gonna target Gen Zers more. They're gonna target millennials. If there's a show, I feel like when people make a show, it would be more like Gen Zers and then their parents. So I don't think either their parents are not millennials or they're like old millennials, right? But like I think like sometimes you're not including in Target ads or TV shows or movies, stuff like that. In media. There you go.
Even though you're not a millennial and you are giving responses based on a millennial point of view, what do you want the world to remember about millennials?
Y'all are hardworking people. America sold you a dream. I want y'all to remember that y'all are allowed to change your minds, redo your lives, restart your lives. Like I feel like you definitely have a chance to do whatever you want to do, re-envision your life. Like I feel like just because they told you education, white picket fence, like no, we all know no, that's not a thing now. So I think the one thing I should remember is they deserve love and grace too. Like give them some time to figure out this new version of themselves, because y'all lied to them for so long.
Okay. So economically, we're played, but as far as characteristic traits, we got that in the bag.
Yeah, yeah, I got the characteristic tricks. Yes.
Okay,
I
okay.
can give that to y'all.
Julia, thank you for this discussion.
You're so welcome.